My name is Salvis DeGuinness, and my practice focuses on Canadian and U.S. business and privacy law. The core of my practice involves two missions. First, helping Canadian or American businesses expand over the U.S.-Canadian border. And second, helping these businesses comply with privacy law on both sides of the border. Ever since the U.S. administration's recent announcement of tariffs on Canadian goods, we have seen an uptick in Canadians looking to expand into the U.S. to avoid the tariffs. This video is intended to be a very quick guide on what you consider when planning such a move. Involve your tax advisors early on to ensure your business's cross-border setup is tax efficient. And, more importantly, to ensure the tax-efficient repatriation of money. If you want to move to the U.S. or otherwise secure a work permit, involve immigration advisors early on because their advice may influence the business's ultimate structure, and also keep your expectations in line. After all, you cannot just go in and work in the U.S. without work authorization. Once you have the advice of your tax and immigration advisors, you and I would then discuss various U.S. business organizations that may be used to structure your cross-border business. If you do a quick Google search, you will likely come across the term LLC, or Limited Liability Company. LLCs are typically not used by Canadians when expanding into the U.S. for various reasons. Rather, we typically see Canadians using a U.S. C Corp or a combination of a U.S. C Corp and limited partnership. Once your business entity is set up, you will have to consider Americanizing your Canadian contracts because there are differences in applicable law. For example, if you are selling goods, consider the differences between Ontario's Sale of Goods Act versus Article 2 of the applicable state's Uniform Commercial Code. If you are a software provider, consider differences in intellectual property law. Consider excluding the Uniform Computer Information Transaction Act, which is in force in Virginia or Maryland. Consider the differences in privacy law. For example, to date, more than a dozen states have comprehensive consumer privacy laws in force. Consider whether you are going to be hiring employees. If so, seek legal representation to ensure your employment contracts are properly tailored for the state you are intending to operate in. Consider registering your business with the appropriate regulators and deducting for the applicable payroll tax. Otherwise, consider using a professional employer organization or a payroll service provider. Lastly, consider what intellectual property you have and whether it needs to be registered in the U.S. The points I have provided you are not exhaustive. Rather, they are important considerations for you to think about before you start expending money expanding into the U.S. If you have any questions or if you wish to expand to the U.S., please don't hesitate to reach out.